It unlocks our path to the future. A future made possible because of the price you paid.
This is the story of the rise and fall of the demon Lilith, and everything you need to know about her return in Diablo 4.
Your sacrifice will not have been in vain.
Angels, demons, I fear their conflict will soon engulf the world of men.
In the beginning, before recorded time itself, the angels of the high heavens and demons of the burning hells were locked in an unending war, also known as the eternal conflict. However, not all of the combatants were content to fight a war with no end in sight, and we learn of Lilith's attempt to break free of the eternal struggle in the writings of Lilith, a 4-part tome found in Act 5 of Diablo 3, where she muses.
My father is content to fight the same battles and the same foes while everything turns to ashes. Though his victories might last a day, or a year, or 100 years, the war will never be won so long as he and his brothers lead. There is an end to it, but fools like my father are too blind to see it. I took a prisoner in the battle, an angel whose light was dimming. I brought him to my lair for my amusement, but he surprised me. My touch seemed to breathe life into him. He raved like a madman about how he wished to escape the war. Perhaps I have found someone I can use. The angel I captured, Inarius, is in love with me. I can feel the intensity of his desire. I told him that we must liberate the World Stone, and then we can be together. We will create something never imagined by those mired in the eternal conflict, a new world. Inarius and I stole the World Stone, and now we have a group of renegades to follow us. I have created a new world where we can live in peace, a place of infinite possibilities. Inarius believes that escape is enough. In time, I will show him that even victory is possible. But first, I will give him children.
I saw the Nephilim in a new light. He is a hero who can defeat the champions of heaven and hell.
Perhaps more remarkable than angels and demons being able to bear offspring was the inherent powers that coursed through the firstborn of humanity's veins. The Nephilim's immense power raised concerns among the renegade angels and demons who feared they might pose a threat to their parents or attract unwanted attention from heaven and hell. As a result, the renegades became divided, with some calling for the destruction of the firstborn and others advocating for their protection. Inarius, seeking a resolution, called for a period of reflection, which his followers complied with. According to an ancient text, Lilith, the mother of the Nephilim, became enraged at the thought of her children's demise. She believed that the Nephilim were the future and key to ending the eternal conflict between angels and demons, with them serving as her personal army. Lilith then transformed into a terrifying new form and hunted down her fellow renegades, slaughtering all of Inarius' followers. Inarius, unable to bring himself to kill Lilith, as he'd sworn to never harm her, banished her to the void. He then tuned the World Stone to gradually diminish the power of the Nephilim with each passing generation, effectively giving rise to a weaker, mortal race we'd come to know as humanity.
Your kind are weak, and this world has been wasted on the crusades of the unworthy.
I can stop her.
This audience is concluded.
My children. The lords of hell are coming to devour our world.
After being banished to the void, Lilith managed to return to Sanctuary without revealing herself for 3 human lifetimes. She appeared in the vicinity of Hashir, which was considered one of the most significant focal points of Sanctuary's reality. However, Lilith wasn't the only force at work in Sanctuary, as the Sin War erupted between the Cathedral of Light, led by Inarius, and the Temple of Triune, led by the Primevals who waged a covert war for control of humanity. Lilith promptly cast a spell that modified the power of the World Stone, which had previously been tuned to suppress the abilities of the Nephilim thanks to Inarius. This alteration enabled the Nephilim to again regain their powers and develop them further. One of her future generations of children, Uldyssian, began to manifest powers thanks to Lilith's guidance and manipulation. However, Uldyssian, seeing his quote-unquote parents' true nature, being Inarius looking to rule as a tyrant father and Lilith as a manipulative matriarch, cast off the will of Lilith and managed to defeat Inarius in combat, although not before the fallen angel would cast Lilith into the void once more. At the conclusion of the war, Heaven and Hell then made a pact to leave Sanctuary and let humanity decide its own fate. Inarius, for his transgressions, was gifted to Mephisto to be tortured, and Lilith was presumed lost for eternity in the great nothingness of the void.
Surrender. Speak the words. Call her home.
After being banished from Sanctuary for thousands of years, Lilith was summoned back through a sinister ritual in an underground chamber below a dilapidated church. 3 adventurers and a scholar sought refuge from undead in the chamber, with the former seeking gold and the latter knowledge. However, one of the adventurers, named Elias, was revealed to be a member of the Triune. The other 2 adventurers and the scholar were sacrificed on a triangle of pillars, creating a construct from their blood that allowed Lilith to manifest. Lilith's return caused a surge in cultists and worshippers in Sanctuary. Her mere presence evoked darkness in humans, and her agent spread paranoia in Kyrgyzstan, where people began to worship her as a goddess and carry out blood sacrifices to appease her. Lilith herself launched a brutal campaign to claim Sanctuary as her own and tasked the Devourer of Souls with obtaining demon blood for her. We then learn, thanks to the flavor text of the in-game item Mother's Embrace, why the Pale Man, Elias, summoned Lilith, as it reads, "Every time, every scroll, every book in this temple produces the same answer. The only being willing to stand against the eternal conflict, against the Primevals, was Lilith." Elias. Giving context to Elias's words as his mother returns from the void.
Blessed Mother, save us.
The faith has taught you to deny your heart's desire and turned you into a prisoner within yourself. Break the chains and discover who you were meant to be.
Does Lilith wish to save Sanctuary? Well, we know from Lilith's return that she's empowering humanity once more to create a loyal army of her children in her name. We also know Lilith's mere presence drives humanity into a frenzy, with the official lore of Diablo 4's PvP being:
in Diablo 4, we have a focus on the world of Sanctuary, and there are parts of that world that we call the Fields of Hatred, where Lilith's presence in Sanctuary has begun to seep through and manifest these poisonous areas throughout the world. When players go to these regions, they get to engage in player versus player conflict.
We also know that history seems to be doomed to repeat itself as Lilith seeks to create a new world, and though her exact plans to do so are somewhat obscured, the key to her plans lies in Hell itself, where her former lover Inarius chases her with great abandon to fulfill his twisted version of a prophecy told by his son Rathma, that his spear of light would pierce hatred's heart so that he could return to heaven, forsaking his vow to never harm his one-time lover, Lilith. But how will Lilith fare in the new war for Sanctuary's heart? Only time will tell, but there's one thing we know for sure. The blood of the innocent will flow in the wake of Sanctuary's matriarch.
This key unlocks more than the doors of hell. It unlocks our path future made possible because of the price you paid. Your sacrifice will not have been in vain.